Think about this. There's an emergency. What's your first instinct? It's probably to pull out your cell phone to check what's going on or send a quick text to family or friends. We all do it in this digital age. But what happens when a cell phone tower goes out and this cell phone becomes pretty much useless? The short answer, go back in time.
So you need to consider, if affordable, perhaps keeping an old line at minimum service. Don't get all the bells and whistles, because I know everybody's using their cell phone. I know that. But if you have that line and an old, I'm going to date myself, streamlined Princess phone, remember those? It's a plug-in to the hard line.
With the severe weather we have seen recently linked to climate change, being prepared should be your number one priority. In Quebec, we are seeing more flooding every year. In the winter, we are seeing ice storms and power outages become more of an occurrence. So how would you access things like your money if you were cut off from your online life for an extended amount of time?
You want to make sure you have cash on hand just in case, because you never know. When the power is down, you can't get to the bank machine. We also remember it wasn't that long ago, there was a major internet outage and people couldn't get their banking done. So it's really about being prepared for whatever comes.
Here in Quebec, that could even include an earthquake. That's why the province stages a mock earthquake every October, the Great Quebec Shakeout. It's aimed at making sure people are prepared for emergencies. This is where your emergency kit comes in handy. These kits are not hard to put together. Most of the items you already have in your home: non-perishable foods, water, a first aid kit, and other essentials you need for 72 hours.
You also need to know 2 ways out of your neighborhood, where everyone's going to muster, where everyone's going to meet, who's going to pick up the kids if you can't get to the school, that sort of thing.
Don't forget, it's always good to have an extra copy of your important documents: driver's license and registration, birth certificate, and passport.
I personally go one step further, which is to say, here in the States, I live on the East Coast. I grew up on the West Coast. My sister is still on the West Coast. She has a thumb drive with the copies that I was just talking about of important documents. So it's outside the region. The likelihood of us being impacted by the same disaster du jour is more minimal.
Davis says, make sure you don't forget about your pets. They need their own emergency kits too, with extra food, leashes, and their carriers ready to go.
If you're comfortable that you've accounted for everybody in your family, the people, family, and the pet members of your family, you are going to be more likely to heed warnings, follow instruction, and I think, again, empower yourself to really maximize your chances of survivability.
So this is your reminder. If you don't have an emergency plan, make one now the old-fashioned way, so you don't rely on your cell phone.